Right guys and girls, welcome back to another video, episode 10 of me playing Days Gone on the PlayStation 4, only exclusive to PS4, or only on PlayStation 4 I should say. And it's by a company called Ben Studio, which Sony owns. So Sony owns the Ben Studios and they own a load of other ones as well. They publish these titles onto their Sony PlayStation. So I think they're more like publishers, and then what they do is they allow the companies, the gaming companies, to come up with the games and ideas. I suppose Sony just actually says if it's good or not, it just puts them through for them. Anyway, so I started dodging this sniper because there's a sniper in the tree here, and he's trying to kill me. And I end up finding him where he is. It's a big tall tree actually. That the amount of work they've put in this game with these tall trees are absolutely amazing. Anyway, so I was just looking sort of through some news articles today. Apparently 40 school children are excluded daily in England as teen drink and drugs offences are on the rise. The number of children being taken out of school, guys and girls, is rising, with many being excluded over drink drug issues. And this is actually done by Sky News, so they've done it as like sort of an exclusive. But it said more children are being kicked out of school for taking and selling illegal drugs than ever before, according to figures seen exclusive by Sky News. And it makes you wonder, guys and girls, why parents would allow their children to actually get in with gangs in the first place, or deal with drugs in the first place, or even do knife crimes in the first place. I mean, come on, you think they would literally stop it completely? The parents would tell them off or just stop them from going out, but I suppose it's not that easy for them. It says there were 7,720 children excluded from English mainstream schools in 2016 and 17, the most recent recorded year. This works out as 40 exclusions a day and is a 15% rise on the previous year. The drug and alcohol related exclusions in secondary school or schools have increased by 57% in the past 5 years. Bloody hell, guys and girls. So that means then these schools are not actually doing any good in the UK at all. They're not doing anything. So it kind of makes you wonder as well, because it's also down to the teachers as well, not just the parents. Some of there's parents out there who actually are doing good, and they are teaching their kids.
Well, it's really funny actually, you talk about that, because yesterday on the news there was a woman on there and her son, and he'd been excluded, and he'd been to school, and the funniest part was
she said he didn't do anything because he wasn't even there.
That's it. So I mean, what's happening there?
So obviously, if he wasn't there, or
yeah, so why would they?
Or maybe the mother was lying or something.
No, because she said her son was at school that day.
Or maybe, either she's telling the truth, which most likely possibly is, or maybe she's just trying to say, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe just trying to put people off. Maybe her son was there. But some people's kids do get told off, and it's nothing to do with them. They haven't done it.
I mean, he's admitted that he has been in trouble.
Yeah, he's been in trouble.
And they go out with drugs and all that.
And knives and shit.
You know, but I don't know.
The thing is, we need to try and find out the cause of the problem, why kids go around with knives in the first place. Obviously, one of it could be parenting. Parents not actually looking after their kids properly. And two, teachers not looking after the students at schools.
Well, actually, sometimes you've heard kids who said that they've had to take knives because they feel safer with knives with things that's going on in the country.
Yeah, and then if you feel safer with knives, right, obviously, if you've got a knife on you, right, you're not just going to have a knife on you and not use it, are you? So if someone is going to come up to you and they start laughing, what's the first thing you're going to do? You got to pull the knife out.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Because they think they're protecting themselves.
Yeah, because they think they're protecting themselves. And then the next minute, they've killed someone.
This is it.
So we need to find out what the cause of the problem is, why these children or kids, well, actually some of them are children, not even like gone to school or anything. Some are like 5, 6, 7-year-olds, they start in gangs. And we've got to try and find a way where we can try and compromise and say, look, going around with a knife, you shouldn't be needing to feel threatened and have a knife with you. Because we need to try and do it so the whole... I mean, okay, we've got gangs in London, we've got gangs in Manchester, we've got gangs everywhere in the UK. And they're only youngsters, they're only young kids. And it makes you wonder, why are they feeling so a threat or so scared to carry a knife?
They can't go to a teacher. I mean, you know what it was like years ago? If she went to a teacher, she said,
they think you're lying.
Oh, go and sit down. It's all right. That's going to happen to you.
Or it's like when I used to get bullied at school and I used to go to the teacher and they thought I was, they kind of make you act like you're lying and stuff.
Yeah, go on, go away, you know. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're in school.
And then the next minute, they're dead. So it's like, and then it's too late. Teacher can't do anything. The parents can't do anything because their kids are in the morgue or something. So we need to try and find out the whole sort of situation why kids are ending people's lives for.
Yeah.
So it is one of those sort of grey line areas. But I find, to be honest, like, if we could just come in peace and just get along with each other and try and help these young kids, put them in the right direction. And actually putting them in prison for 20, 30 years, that's no good. They need love, they need attention. That's the thing, they didn't have any attention as children, as when they were kids. And then when they grow up, they've got no one. So we need to try and look.
And yet, the funny part is that sometimes the ones that bullied you, they've turned out decent now.
Yeah, they've turned out decent, but I think it's just the phase they go through when they're children. I think a lot of kids go through that phase when they're like young, because they don't know themselves at that point. They don't know themselves, and then when you grow up and grow older, you start maturing. You start actually acting your own age, and you start becoming yourself. And I think this is the thing. We need to allow kids and children to be themselves when they're children and not being like put into a sort of a corner, be backed into a corner. We've got to let children be children, not go around with knives and stuff. You can't just allow, I mean, obviously you've got to have boundaries and stuff, because parents have to have boundaries for their children. But I think you need to find out where those boundaries are and where the children's boundaries are and the parents' is, and then try and compromise. Because you see, I hear a lot of times now where parents are going around abusing their kids, and no wonder they turn out like going around killing people and stuff. I mean, come on, parents don't go. Parents are supposed to be there to protect their children, not to go around abuse them. But it's one of those sort of things. But anyway, what do you guys and girls think about this sort of drug-related stuff going on with these exclusions? What do you think we could do in the UK which could make things like senses a lot better for children and help young kids, not just children, adults who have become children beforehand and now are adults, but still are facing that stigma from this very day? I mean, I think it is a very, very hard situation what we're living in at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard topic, really. Actually, it's a very hard topic. But I think, to be honest, it's so easy to go into a supermarket and buy alcohol in there. You could just grab it off the shelf. Obviously, you've got to look 25, but there's young kids out there who look older. Then they just go in there, they get the alcohol, they become like addicted to the alcohol. Then they go out and they do a crime, and then they get put in the slammer, in the prison.
Well, I had one son who just did not want to go to school.
Yeah.
And I went down there because one day I found out what the problem was, and I went down there and I had a go at the head teacher about it.
Yeah.
And then, would you believe it, that day, the same day that I went down there in the morning, I went down there, took him down there, because he just didn't want to go. And I was wondering whatever was going on, you know what I mean? And I knew that there was something going on there, so I went down there, seen the headmaster, and had to go about this teacher who'd been picking on him. Yeah. And then, would you believe it, that night, the teacher come and knock on my door at my house, yeah, and then he said, oh, I want to show you something what he's done, which is really good, you know. And you know what? It was a picture he drew of Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley.
And I'll never forget that. And then from that day, it changed completely.
Yeah, but the thing is, you could look after children as much as like you can bring them up the right way, but it's whether they turn out the right way. There's a lot of children out there now who are on the street. Grown men now on the street have turned to addiction and stuff, drugs, alcohol abuse, and like, I mean, we need to really find out. We need to literally not ban alcohol, but there's the Democrats apparently, they're saying to actually increase the alcohol percentage, not percentage, but the money wise on it, the tax, by 20% on top. And I don't think, to be honest, 20p is nothing in every pound. So you're paying an extra £2 if you get a crate of 10, like all crate of a crate, which is £10. So you're extra 20p on top of every pound. £2. That is nothing. That is absolutely nothing. I think, to be honest, I've seen, well, if you go to Morrison's, for instance, guys and girls, you get like crates of cans in there, 2 crates or 3 crates for like £20. And I'm thinking, by God, they're selling them in supermarkets so cheap. I mean, no wonder a lot of these youngsters are turning to alcohol. And then you've got like these people on the street just going around giving drugs out and stuff and selling all this kind of stuff, which is turning kids into zombie-like bloody people. But I think we need to try and find out ways that we can stop children from abusing themselves or actually get into these in the first place. And I think it's got to be down to the supermarkets. Apparently, there's a place, where is it? I fucking have a look. So apparently this says, how's the new alcohol law changed drinking habits? No, it hasn't, because people are still buying more. Apparently in Scotland, it was just said the other day, apparently, people are buying more now, seeing the prices have gone up. So I think the prices need to actually increase by 20%, 30% each year. And I think it needs to get to that point where it gets really expensive, so they can't afford it.
And when I was young,
I mean, people on benefits, for instance, they go out, they buy cigarettes and they buy alcohol, right? And they don't see the consequences of what's happening to their body when they do take it. So it's
until they got no money.
Until they got no money, yeah, and then they waste the money, and then actually the children they're looking after or supposed to be feeding, they don't feed their children, they're feeding themselves with their own addiction and stuff. And it's it's one of those, it's one of those things. But anyway, I'll back in a minute, guys and girls. 2 seconds. Actually, let me just get it to 15 minutes of it. Right, guys and girls, welcome back. So, just actually to just add the extra bit to the clip. So I had to move forward a little bit. For some reason on the PlayStation, when I'm editing through the videos on here, it just goes a bit funny. Now I was just reading, apparently the alcohol hasn't really changed that much. Now there's a petition going at the moment, launched to overturn the ban on drinking alcohol in Castle Park. Now I don't know where that is actually. Where is that Castle Park? It's been an offence to drink alcohol there since 2017. Well, too right. They should be drinking in sort of a park area. That should be banned. Yeah, it should be banned. Anyone does that shit kind of stuff going on, then I don't know. It's one of those things. But no, I think no one should be drinking in parks at all. At all. Periodly. Minimum alcohol pricing 1 year on. Here we go, look at this. So, Shandwick placed Sainsbury's to display 40% more alcohol. That's bad, despite over-provision concerns. So, what they're trying to do then, so they're trying to get kids really addicted to alcohol. That's what these are doing. I don't think they should be selling it in like supermarkets at all. I think they should get rid of them, all the alcohol from these supermarkets, because it's a supermarket, you buy food. You shouldn't be going there to buy alcohol. You should be there to buy food for your children and provide food for the table for your children and your family. Actually, really what they should do is have it so, I don't know what you guys think, but to have alcohol only sold in pubs and clubs, and then do it like the old days, because my mum said about the old days they used to have it like at, I mean, was it 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock to 11?
You used to have it from 7 o'clock till 10:30.
10:30.
That is Mondays to Thursdays.
Yeah.
On Fridays and Saturdays you could have it till 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so bring back the old days, but don't sell alcohol in shops.
On Sundays in Wales, yeah, you were not allowed to buy any alcohol at all on Sundays there, or drink. You had to go to church.
Yeah.
You know, religious day.
Well, I'm not saying to people they should go to church.
No, but I'm just saying what they've done years ago.
They should have a free mind, a free will, and they should do whatever they want to do, but not drink alcohol to abuse their bodies.
I said you were not allowed to do it on Sundays in Wales.
Yeah. Because I was, we were talking to this nurse the other day, and she actually said basically a person who drinks alcohol is abusing themselves.
Oh, it's a doctor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a doctor. Yeah. So that they said that basically people do that, they're actually abusing it. It's actually technically abuse.
No, it's called
self-harming.
You're self-harming
that's
yourself by having one drink, she said.
Yeah, if you have one drink, you're self-harming yourself. So it's kind of like sort of in the grey area. But I think, to be honest, anybody does anything with alcohol or drugs or whatever, you're still self-harming yourself. Yeah. So don't do it, guys and girls. Or
and she was a nice doctor, wasn't she?
Yeah, and just go to school, do your education, get a decent education rather than turn into addiction. And it's also to do with the mental health. I mean, it's a shame because there's a lot of people out there suffering from mental health, and really we need to help those people as well through their addictions and through their mental health problems. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So we need to find solutions, and we need to find them now. We need to find out why people are so depressed as well. So, and then we can try and find out why they're depressed, and then actually try and help them in a way. But anyway, guys and girls, I'm going to finish off this episode here. This is episode 10 of My Days Gone. Cheers for watching. If you enjoy it, like, favourite, share, comment, and
do let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, let us know what you think, guys and girls. Cheers.